Episode 188 of the Outdoor Biz Podcast with Kent Millecam from Camp Chef. Turn your backyard into your own personal smokehouse. Today's podcast is brought to you by Creative Live. Start learning for free today with their amazing selection of on-air classes. With over 1,500 curated classes in photography and video, money and life, craft and maker, art and design, and music and audio, there is something for everyone. I've watched many of their on-air broadcasts for free, or buy a class and own the content for life. Go to theoutdoorbizpodcast.com/creativelive and start building creative skills from the world's top experts today. I believe achieving success in the outdoor biz is dependent upon embracing the outdoor lifestyle and learning from outdoor leaders that came before you. If you agree, then listen up for tips, advice, and hacks about growing or starting your career in the outdoor biz. My name is Rick Sayes. Welcome to the Outdoor Biz Podcast. In this episode, Kent Millecam talks about how he got into the outdoor business, his career at Camp Chef, and some of the new technology they're bringing to the table. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, visit ricksayes.com/podcast cheat sheet and get my 10-step guide to producing your first podcast. Go to ricksayes.com/podcast cheat sheet and begin producing your podcast today. That's ricksayes.com/podcast cheat sheet. Hey, Kent, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rick. Good to be on.
Yeah, good to catch up with you. I catch up with you at shows all the time, but it seems like we don't talk in between. You're a busy guy.
Yeah. It's that outdoor life, right?
Right.
You know, you're trying to keep that balance of work and play, and wearing the sales hat here, you're on the road quite a bit. So glad we're able to finally connect.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So let's start with how you got introduced to the outdoors. How'd that come about?
I had a dad. My dad he was great at getting me outside, and he loved to snow ski. And our closest ski resort was Steamboat Springs in Colorado. It was still 2.5 hours away. But my dad would get me up at 5 a.m. and we'd plow through the roads over to Steamboat, and it would be back in those days, you could get on the gondola before the resort opened and eat breakfast at the top.
Oh, cool.
And the ski patrol would be standing there with the ropes, and we'd be the first ones when the ski patrol dropped the ropes, and we'd be the last ones on the last lift.
Wow.
So we'd ski all day long. And then summers, we boated all summer, at least 2-3 times a week, water skiing and boating and being outside. So I learned a lot of that from my dad.
Yeah, you're out a bunch. That's awesome.
Outside.
And you've been with Camp Chef like 22 years. Did you have any other outdoor jobs before that?
That's there's kind of some interesting, fun story there. I just being outdoors and being an outdoor growing up. When I was in high school, I started rock climbing quite a bit. And when I wanted to go to college, went to Utah State. It's in Logan, Utah. Mm-hmm. And before I came up, I called an outdoor retailer in Logan called the Trailhead. And I talked to the owner there. His name was Scott Dattweiler. And one of the best little specialty stores in Utah. And I asked him if I could have a job, and he asked me what my intentions were. And, the naive high school kid, I said, well, I want to learn your business. I'd love to have a little outdoor store someday. And,
sure.
He said, you don't want to get in this business. Retail's hard. You got to work every day. You got to, and I thought about that. And then when I came up to school, I thought, maybe I had to just find a job that makes pretty good money, and then I can just spend my time outside instead of having an outdoor job. And got together with some buddies, and we started a telemarketing department in a big company here in Logan. They sell treadmills called Icon Health and Fitness. And it was a part-time job. We went to them and said, we want to be commission only. And we were all pretty good sales guys. And we made pretty good money working 20 hours a week. And then we played outside. And
nice.
So so we were selling, some treadmills and doing some of that and making pretty good money until a couple of years later, we started making enough money. They fired us all because we were making too much money in commission there.
Oh, yeah. The age-old story. Yep.
Yeah. And then, but my boss there, I met a guy there that had an idea, and he said, I've got money, but I don't have any time to do this. And he walked me into, his little office he had off site and showed me this stove. And I knew Camp Chef and admired Camp Chef, knew who they were. And I walked in, I saw this product, and I said, well, this is a Camp Chef. And he said, well, we're going to go a little different direction. And he had this idea. And So we started this little business where we not actually knocked off Camp Chef
Mm-hmm.
and started that business, and that was while I was in college. And
Mm.
eventually, that partner had to leave the business, and a partner came in that he and I just did not get along at all. And so I left. I left what we were doing in that little business, and I called the founder at Camp Chef. His name's Ty Meeson, and great guy, and he knew who I was because I was a competitor, and didn't. I'm sure he didn't necessarily like me a whole lot,
At
and
that
but
point, right?
he took my call, and I and I said, hey, I'm looking for a job, and he said, humble guy. He said, well, we probably ought to talk to you,
Huh,
And so I
uh-huh.
went down. I talked to him and the previous owner of Camp Chef, who was his boss, Bill Dutro, and we got anyway. They I think they liked what they heard, and
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have a salesperson or a marketing person. They were just Ty was doing everything
Wow.
from R&D to the ideas to
Yeah.
building the brand to the sales, and he was just busy. And I
Mm-hmm.
think he needed some help, and so that opened the door for me at Camp
Wow.
Chef. Yeah,
That's a good lesson right there too, though. Just, take the call and be open to conversations even with your competitors because you never know where it'll lead.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so you went to Utah State, studied marketing, finance, and Japanese. What made you choose Japanese? Had you been to Japan?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a member of the Church Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and when I was 19, I had the opportunity to go on a mission
Mm-hmm.
for our church, and so I spent 2 years in Japan,
Oh.
and I spent 2 months before I left learning Japanese, and they have a missionary training center where they teach you Japanese, and then when I got to Japan, I was like, I got off the plane and I thought, I don't know what they taught me there, but it was not Japanese. These people are speaking a different language. And so it took me a while. I was fortunate. A month into being in Japan, I was with a Japanese companion that only spoke Japanese, so I was forced to at that point to learn the language.
Wow. Great.
And so I decided to study Japanese when I got home because I was able to clep out so many credits.
Yeah, right.
When I got home, I took you take the highest level class at the university, and then they clep you out at 20 credits. So
Yeah.
that quarter, I had a 4.0 of 27 credits, and I skied almost every day that year. My parents were so proud of me because I was on the honor roll for one semester.
Right. Yeah, but you're skiing every day. How's that work? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So those Japanese credits were great.
And where in Japan were you?
I was in Hokkaido, which is the northernmost island of Japan,
Oh, wow, cool.
and I was in different cities and villages clear all over that island. But it's a lot of skiing there. As a Sapporo was host to the Winter Games
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
many years ago, and I lived in some Olympic housing there. Lived right by the ski jump,
Cool.
and so yeah, I felt right at home.
That's awesome. Yeah, I skied over there once. I was over there with Tatsuno out of Osaka, and he took me on a trip to go see their warehouse, which was on the other side of the island. And right in the middle, you go over these mountains, some ski resort, and we spent the night there and skied. It was awesome. That's a
How was
great
it?
country. Oh, it was great. Yeah, that's a great country. I mean, the people are great. The food is great.
Yep,
Pretty fun.
yep, yeah, it is.
So, tell our
Yep.
listeners a little bit about Camp Chef. You guys have obviously come a long way since the days you started with just stoves. You got smokers, and I see camping stoves now. That's pretty cool. I was checking out the aluminum camping stove. That looks like a great product.
Yeah, that's a fun product. So yeah, we've come a long way. When I first came on, we had a single burner stove and a two burner stove, and that's really about all Ty was doing. And he started having some ideas for accessories, and how do we put more than just a boil water on this? And
Right.
came up with some barbecue boxes, and so you take a two burner stove and turn it into a grill, and
Mm.
really can create your own outdoor kitchen with it. And once we understood what that meant to the consumer, that hey, it's not just a stove, we can create a whole outdoor kitchen.
Yeah,
That's when Camp Chef really started taking off,
I'll bet.
and that's when the business grew. That's when we really got behind who we were, and understood really what direction we wanted to take the business.
Hmm.
That's when I came in, is when we started seeing some of where we fit and where we fit in the market, where we were very, very niche. I mean, there was
Well, you
nobody
guys kind of
doing.
created the category. I mean, it didn't exist before then.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah.
We were really pioneers in what that was,
Yeah.
and Ty wanted to make something better than what was out there. I mean, we'd all fought with some of the suitcase tile stoves and
Oh, we
pump
all
them
had the
up and
Coleman two
taking.
burner, right?
Yeah,
That sometimes it
yeah,
worked and sometimes it didn't.
yeah, and even when it did work, you were waiting forever to
Yeah.
boil your water,
Right.
and we just felt like there was a better way, and we were big car campers. I mean,
Mm.
it's interesting, and you probably, a lot of people experience this, is when you're in college or in high school, you do a lot of backpacking, but as
Hmm.
soon as you get married and start having kids, you still camp, but you transition from that backpacking to car camping.
Yeah.
And just, we wanted to find a better way to cook and a better way to cook outdoors.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you have a favorite product, a favorite grill, or a favorite smoker of yours? Or do you always
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
you always get to test the new stuff? I'm sure that's pretty exciting.
You brought up the Mountaineer, is what it's called,
Hmm.
our 2 burner aluminum stove, and it's that suitcase style,
Right.
but it has legs. It's lightweight. It's 20,000 BTUs, which is 2 to 3 times the heat of most Coleman, our competitor type products.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then of course our pellet grills, and what we're doing there is just, that's more of a every day in your backyard thing that we're doing now.
Right. Right. So, you got any new technologies on the horizon? Can you talk about any new products or anything coming
Yeah,
out?
yeah, yeah. We have so when we got in the pellet grill business about 7 years ago, and we actually, it was a hard transition for us to take and to make, to go from camping stoves into backyard,
Hmm.
into these big smokers, but we wanted to be everything outdoor, from back country to back patio.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we felt like we could do that. We in our stoves, we had a little survey card. We wanted people to register their product, and we wanted to know who they were,
Yeah.
and 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 along with that is a little survey of, hey, what are you using our products for? And 50% of the people that were buying our products, our stoves, were using them exclusively in their
Wow.
backyard.
50%. Interesting.
50%. So we felt like, hey, we're reaching that consumer. Maybe this pellet grill and smoker category isn't as big a stretch as we think it is.
Right.
Maybe we're already talking to that consumer. Maybe our brand is already talking to that consumer. So we made that stretch, and got into the grill, into the smoker business. So when you come back to what your question, so what's new? We have a new, in our pellet grills, in that category. We're launching Wi-Fi this month in our pellet grills. So now, when I'm sitting in the office, I can watch what my brisket's doing. I can control it. I can go through that. So we're excited to be launching Wi-Fi
Wow, that's
in that
amazing.
technology.
So
Yeah, super
Thanksgiving
fun.
Day, you could be sitting in the recliner watching the football games, controlling your turkey that you're smoking or
Yep,
whatever.
yep,
That's
yep,
fabulous.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. So tell us about pellet grills a little bit. You guys took a little risk there. Was it just in trying to speak to that consumer in a different way, or were there some other risks? I mean, pellets were probably unique to that industry. Everybody wanted
Some of
charcoal, right?
Yeah. We were worried about the distraction,
Mm,
in the core Camp Chef business. Is this gonna be a big distraction from who we are? Is it gonna get us outside of our core? Is it gonna
right.
And we had concerns there. We had financial concerns in pellet grills. The owner of Camp Chef, he wasn't sure he wanted to make that stretch.
Huh.
He came to a couple of us and said, "Hey, if we're going to get in the pellet grill business, we're going to need some. There's going to be some expense here in tooling." He wasn't sure he wanted to make that leap,
Hmm.
and we all ponied up.
Oh, cool.
We all ponied up into it financially to get into the pellet grill business. A couple of us, and took the risk together, and jumped into it. But we wanted to be different. We didn't
Hmm.
just want to be, and we felt like one of the big problems with a pellet grill is you've got ash. You're burning these pellets, but
Hmm.
you're leaving ash in this grill, and a fan is pushing the heat around. As that fan
Ew.
pushes heat around, you're pushing ash onto your food.
Yeah, that's not
And so
good.
all of our competitors are telling people, well, pull all that out and shop back out the ash. And we thought there's a better solution. Ty came up with this great idea of ash clean out. And then right behind that, the other disadvantage of a pellet grill is it takes so long to get hot. You can't grill on it. So Ty had this great idea of, hey, let's put this slide and grill feature in it. You pull this tab and now it's a grill and it'll get up to really high temperatures. So we had some IP behind some of it.
Yeah, very cool.
But when we had some some great marketing, we felt like behind it, and it really helped us jump into the category quick because we were different. We felt like we had it, and we did have a better product.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I think your marketing too is huge. I mean, you guys do some great. Your imagery is just fabulous. I mean, you just start drooling when you go onto your website, and then the recipe things that you guys publish on there. They're awesome. They're all great. I mean, if you don't know how to smoke meat or grill meat or cook meat outside, go to campchef.com and you soup to nuts. It's like the the college class on how to cook outside. It's great. You guys do a good job of that.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you. Well, it's fun. Our marketing is so much fun. We get
it's fun to do, fun to eat.
Yep. And really our video guys now, I mean, we have a whole department that's in-house. We have a culinary chef on staff that is managing all that. But it's amazing. Every day out on our outdoor patio, there's something going on out there, and it's usually an R&D on a new project. There's constantly a smell of food coming into the office.
So you never have to bring lunch to work.
It's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. And it's, we actually, every department takes a meal once a month and cooks for the rest of the company.
Oh, cool.
Breakfast, a lunch, or whatever. So we're all engaged, and that's one thing that's super fun here. And we actually ask this in a question when you're an interview question: do you cook?
Yeah, sure.
And frankly, Rick, if we get a candidate that doesn't like to cook and cook outdoors, it puts them on the bottom of the pile if we're going to hire them or not, because you got to like it, you got to love it. Yeah, and that's part of our culture here.
Yeah, and it's unique, and you got to know about it. Yeah. So when I was at Jansport, we had a sausage cook-off every year. You guys must do cook-offs amongst the departments.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely very competitive.
I can imagine. I bet there's some darn good cooks there too.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you have a favorite thing to grill or smoke?
Yes. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff, but I love, and it's so easy to smoke and grill a tri-tip.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So tri-tip, and here's a quick, easy recipe, is on our smoker, we have, and this is another new feature we're coming out this month in our pellet grills. We have a new controller we're releasing with multiple smoke settings.
Oh.
So everybody just has a smoke setting. We've always had a low smoke and a high smoke. Now we have settings from 0 all the way up to 10.
Oh, cool.
And so anyway, what we'll do is on the tri-tip is I'll put that on a high smoke or all the way up to a 10 and do it on a high smoke for about an hour. And then I told you about this slide and grill feature. I pull that tab over, and it helps me so I can now actually sear on a smoker this tri-tip.
Oh.
So I smoke it for an hour on a high smoke, and I pull that slide and grill over. Now I'm searing, and I just sear that depending on where you like your meat. I'm a medium rare guy. It's about 5 minutes on each side. Pull it off, and I've got a perfect tri-tip.
Wow, that's great. Cool. I'll have to try that next time I throw a tri-tip on the grill. That's great advice. What do you have a rub? Do you rub it? What do you put on it, on the meat?
Yeah. I mean, the smoke gives off a great flavor. Yeah. And we have a whole line. Camp Chef has a line of seasoning. So of course pretty easy to throw some of our all-purpose seasoning. Our all-purpose seasoning is perfect on that.
Cool.
But the smoke flavor, my wife just loves it when I just do just salt and pepper. Just a nice salt and pepper rub, and give that nice smoke, and you get a nice smoke ring in there. And then
you do use a hickory or a mesquite, or what kind of wood?
We have a competition blend.
Okay.
That's my favorite. It's a maple-based blend. Yeah. And it's just got a great flavor, and it's just great on everything.
Wow, sounds good. I'll have to do a little shopping on the website for my winter cooking expeditions.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears a little bit. What outdoor activities do you participate in? Do you still ski?
Yep, I love to ski, love the plow. We've got a resort that's about 9 miles from my house now, and I get up early in the winter with some buddies, and we're usually skinning up there once, twice a week before the resort even opens, trying to get some POW in. The guys running the cats know us well and see us in our headlamps. I'm a big cyclist. I love to road bike and mountain bike, compete a little bit there. But just have a great group of guys in the morning. We get out 3 days a week in the mornings in
Oh,
the
that's great.
summer and road bike. And then in the fall, the colors start turning and we all hop on our mountain bikes.
Very cool. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Do you have any suggestions or advice for folks wanting to get into the outdoor industry, or maybe if they're already in, to grow their career?
Yeah. It's interesting, and you probably get a lot of this too, Rick. You get a lot of emails or a lot of requests over LinkedIn, and people
Yep.
sending you emails about how to do this, how to do that. Man, you got to get on the phone,
Yeah.
and you got to talk to people. And so many people are afraid just to get on a call and try to reach out. And take an opportunity every chance you get to network, even sitting on an airplane.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I travel quite a bit, and you sit there next to somebody for 2-3 hours, and it's just people get on the plane, they put their headphones on, and they're just in their zone or watching
Mm-hmm.
movies. And there's definitely times you got to do that for your sanity, whatever. But take an opportunity to reach out and get to know people, and don't be afraid to create relationships.
Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, that's
It's amazing. It's amazing where the road will go.
you never know what's like we talked earlier about the phone call that guy took your phone call and reached out, and look what happened. So you do never know. You need to reach out and talk to folks, and yeah, that's why I threw that question in there, because I think there's a lot of everybody, you run into people, oh, you do what? How fun is that? How do I do that? Everybody asks you that. And so I thought that, talking to folks like you and all the other people that have been so generous with their time to come on the show, everybody's got advice. And there are some common themes, but I think it's just reach out, make a phone call. Everybody's willing to listen and talk to you. We love to help everybody.
So Rick, I got a great story about you.
Uh-oh.
You probably don't even remember this. You're like the pro at networking.
Thank you.
And years ago, you came in the booth, and it was when you had just went to Dana Design,
Mm-hmm.
and you handed me your new business card, and I think it said Director of Sales and Marketing, and it was when you just made that leap.
Yep.
And my boss, Ty Mason, that I've talked about, asked me after you left. He said, "Who was that?" And I said, "Oh, that was Rick." And he said, "What does he do?" And I showed him your card, and he said, "Director of Sales and Marketing." And he said, "What does that mean?" I said, "Well, he was at Jansport. He was a national sales manager."
Eagle Creek. I was at Eagle Creek.
Sorry, Eagle Creek.
Yeah.
Eagle Creek.
That's right.
So Eagle Creek National Sales Manager, and he said, "Well, so what does that mean, going from National Sales Manager to Director of Sales and Marketing?" And I said, "It means that Dana Designs gave him a great title without giving him a raise." And
that's
I don't
about
know
it.
I don't know if any of that's true or not.
That's pretty accurate.
But he grabbed my business card, and he scratched out National Sales Manager, and he wrote VP Sales and Marketing.
So you got a promotion. That's awesome.
So I got a promotion. I didn't get a raise. I did get a promotion. So from that time on, I was VP of Sales and Marketing.
That's a great story. And very accurate. Yep, that's how that happens.
Yeah.
You just get to wash more dishes. That's all that means.
Exactly.
So do you have any daily routines to keep your sanity? Do you walk the dog? Obviously, it sounds like you get out and exercise a lot. That's a huge routine. That's great.
Yeah. I think I drive my family crazy. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. I find that I can have that hour to hour and a half between 5 and, by the time I get rolling, it's about 5:30, and usually between 5:30 and 7, that's my chance to really,
Mm-hmm.
I'm exercising. That's what I'm doing. I'm either outside on the bike, like I said, skinning in the morning, or skiing, just getting it in the winter. If I'm not skiing, I'm on the treadmill, but it really gives me an opportunity to clear my head and have my morning, get my start, get my meditation going, and get thinking about things. And it's amazing how much comes into my head, and I come up with my best ideas and work out most of my solutions when I'm exercising in the morning.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. I do the same thing. I'm an early riser, and I just love that the morning hours are different than the evening hours. They just seem like they're more productive. I don't know if the brain is refreshed or what, but a lot more productive and energetic. So that's good.
Yeah. I think I've had my biggest epiphanies after I've worked out and standing in the shower.
Yeah. You got to put a whiteboard in the shower.
There you go. Not a bad idea.
What are some of your favorite podcasts or books you give as gifts?
Well, I don't know if you've heard of this podcast called Outdoor Biz, but that's a great one.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. It's growing.
So I listen to a lot of podcasts and I listen to a lot of books. I kind of been trained that, and we drive and we're on planes and we spend
Hmm.
so much
Hmm.
time in our cars, and I just believe that that's a moving university, an opportunity to learn
Yeah, I
and
agree.
to listen and to grow. And I'm a big fan of Jim Cramer. He has a podcast called Mad Money, and some people think he's quirky, but he's really sharp, a smart guy, and he reads these quarterly reports of these big companies that are public, and he does his homework.
Yeah.
I mean, he talks faster than I can even listen or understand. But it's just interesting to listen how people are running their businesses, what they're doing, and where their growths are. And I really enjoy listening to that.
He's good. He's in a business encyclopedia too. That guy. Talk about getting up early and preparing and going through putting in the work. Man,
Yeah.
he's
Yep.
impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like listening to How I Built This, Guy
Mm-hmm.
Raz.
Yeah.
That's a good one. If you're looking for a good episode, go listen to the Cliff Bar,
Oh, okay.
Gary Erickson. That's a really good one. Just how he built his business. And, he had an opportunity to sell the business, and he decided he didn't want to do that and take it a different direction. What
Cool.
that's put his life. That was a great one. There's another one that hasn't been on lately, probably because he's rich and doesn't need the money. But Lance Armstrong does one called The Forward.
Okay.
And if you're looking for a fun one to listen to on he did one on Charles Barkley. That was just a fantastic listen.
I'll look for that. Yeah.
Books, you ask a Mormon about his favorite book, you're going to hear about the Book of Mormon, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, it's just a great addition to the Bible and Christ and learning about Christ. But there was something that pivoted our business quite a bit when I read a book called Good to Great by
Great
Jim
book.
Collins.
Yep.
And he talked about hedgehog versus foxes, and the hedgehog, how he's got this defense mechanism, and he just hunkers down and he's good at one thing. And the fox hunts the hedgehog, and the fox is good at a lot of things. And that's when I read that book, and it hit me. You know what? Our business, we're a hedgehog, and we've got to dive into what this modular cooking is.
Yep.
And we were starting to go different directions in our business, and we had these ideas and other things and other categories. And we decided at that point we needed to focus on on our stove business and building an outdoor kitchen. Our hedgehog was this stove, and that you could grill with it, you could griddle with it, you could smoke with it. And even our smokers now take an accessory on the side of them that bolts where you pull off our smoker, and you bolt on, we call it the sidekick. It's a side gas burner that take all the accessories that fit on our stove, fit on top of that.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So now the whole thing comes together. But I learned a lot reading that book. I'm reading a really good one right now called what's it called? The Ride of a Lifetime. It's Bob Iger. He's the CEO of Disney.
Oh, but
and
that's good.
does a great job talking about, how to take risks and take the right risks. And,
Yeah.
And when you stop taking risks, you lose. And just there's a great chapter there on the Pixar deal that he made with Steve Jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, just some really great golden nuggets in that book.
There's a great perspective on that Pixar deal with the guy from Pixar. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he wrote a good book too about the other side of that deal with Jobs and how that all went down, and some of the they've got a lot of unique ways in how they manage and run that business. That's another great book. Yeah, so many good books out there. No, those are great. Thank you. Yeah. What's your favorite outdoor gear purchase under $100?
Well, of course, it's a Camp Chef product.
Yeah, of course.
We have our Explorer stove is under $99. I mean, it's just incredible what you get for the bang for the buck. It's a standalone, stands at your waist, 2-burner stove, 30,000 BTUs, which means 3 times the heat of anything that's out there.
Wow.
You can do anything from simmer to boil on it, and you can buy all these accessories that go on it. You can create a whole outdoor kitchen right off the base of this stove. So definitely, and we've had that stove before I was here. I mean, we're celebrating Camp Chef celebrating 30 years next year, and this was the stove that started it all.
Cool. Yeah, you're gonna do a 30-year model?
Yep. Yep,
Yeah,
we're gonna have a
cool.
big celebration.
Awesome.
We've got some products in the works that are coming out. They're 30th anniversary products that go along with who we are, and we're very excited to celebrate 30 years.
Very cool. Very exciting. Is there anything else you'd like to ask of our listeners or say to our listeners?
Yeah, I kind of brought up this thing about you always got to be thinking about your business. You got to be engaged.
Yep.
And you just can't, and I don't believe you shouldn't turn it off. A quick example, yesterday morning while I was on the treadmill, I got an email from one of our competitors, and they were talking about that they're going to do this cooking class. And I thought, well, that's cool. I'll get online and watch that cooking class. Well, I read further into the email and they're going to host it at their headquarters. So I've got to drive down to their headquarters to take this cooking class. And I thought, why not do something like this online? Why not have cooking classes online?
Exactly.
And do that where anybody can do it. Yep. So then I'm driving to work and I'm listening to CNBC on my way to work, and they have the CEO of the Food Network on there, and he's talking about this new app that they're launching. They've been doing beta testing on it called, this network kitchen app, and they're going to have food classes and everything. So we had a staff meeting that day, and I brought up my, just what happened in my thoughts that morning, and it gave us an opportunity to brainstorm.
Yeah.
And the team came up with a great game plan, and we're excited to execute something that spearheaded cool. Just because my brain was engaged in the morning and working through some things and bringing it to the group. And so I think that's maybe one thing is make sure you're always engaged. I mean, don't turn it off.
Yeah.
And
well, I think the other piece of that too is be open to some of the things that come out of left field, right? So you took this idea. First of all, you were engaged, like you said, and then second of all, you took this idea that from Food Network of all places, right? How many people that run a little small outdoor cooking, related business would think that the Food Network could have something for them? But you went back, brainstormed it. You never know where you're going to get inspiration. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Rick. I think just in the end, I mean, just maybe one comment is we've all got to figure out how we can help other people and bless their lives. And I'm still trying to figure that out. But I've just been very blessed with having being able to hire people that are better than me, and having people around me and friends around me and mentors around me that are better than me, that lift me up and make me a better person. And I think you've got to be around that environment, and hopefully you're seeking out friends and mentors that can help you with that. My dad was a great mentor.
Cool.
He taught me how to work when I was young, growing up, how to work and how to be engaged and in life and in situations and in relationships.
That's great. Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah. And how can people follow up with you if they want to ask any questions or talk about see if you got any job openings?
You can always email me, kentam@campchef.com. I am on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a little boring environment for me, but I'm on Instagram.
Cool.
And if you can figure out how to spell my last name, you can find me about anywhere. But I'm Kent Millecam, and it's Millecam, and on Instagram it's @KentMillecam.
Perfect. Well, we'll link to all that in the show notes, and we'll link to those great products you mentioned and some of the recipes. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, Ken. It's been great chatting with you.
Rick, it's great to hook up with you.
Yeah, I'll see you. I love your show. Thank you. I love you guys' products, and I'll see you at Summer OR.
Sounds good. See you in Denver.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Bye.
If you want more of the Outdoor Biz Podcast, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to go to the OutdoorBizPodcast.com where you find all the episodes, show notes, and much, much more. Until next time, be sure to make time to get outside.